people they talk no fit. 98.5 on your dial. Emirate radio, you the vibe. Now the sound of the street with the carry. Joy and truth, we know they worry. From morning kiss to nighttime flow. Every voice matter, everybody know. Every Emirate radio, 98.5. The voice of the people we they come alive. Your story, your sound, your melody. Emirate radio, 98.5. The voice of the people we they come alive. Your story, your sound, your melody. Open door. Culture, music, news and more. Open mic, we open door. If not your voice, we go amplify. Emirate radio, make you testify. Emirate radio, make you testify. On Emirate radio, 98.5. The voice of the people, we they come alive. Your story, your sound, your melody. Emirate radio, 98.5. The voice of the people, we they come alive. Your story, your sound, your melody. Emirate radio, 98.5. The voice of the people.
Every society has a heartbeat, and on the pulse, you listen close. Every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., join us as we take on the issues shaping our communities, the norms we live by, the problems we face, and the societal ills we can no longer ignore. From culture to conversation, from daily challenges to national concerns, we dig deep, ask the questions that matter, and spark the dialogue that leads to real change. Tune into The Pulse, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. only on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM, Nigerian's premium radio experience. The Pulse, feel it, understand it, change it.
We're about to make it real. Trying to say yes, help me.
Show and check out your bed.
Together.
There can be no full love. So check out guitar.
Together.
Come let's live together. Show and check out your bed. Kilo de traffic parawa. O masibo mi botale love. Our strength is in our diversity. Let's live together now. Let's live together. Let's live together. We gotta live together, yeah. Let's live together. There can be no full love. Omo one and no more corrupia, and I'm a bomb. Only mirina in a logo. Our strength is in our diversity, yeah. Let's live together. Let us live as one. Let's live together. Let's live together. You know we've only got one.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Pulse on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM. I am your host, Omotolani Dari. Today's discussion focuses on a growing public health and social concern, drug abuse in Nigeria, particularly among young people. Across communities, there has been increasing awareness of the dangers associated with the misuse of substances, ranging from health complications to social and economic consequences. Drug abuse not only affects individuals but also places a significant burden on families, institutions, and society at large. Understanding its causes, effects, and the available support systems is essential in addressing this challenge effectively. Well, joining me today is Pastor Ade Bodude, the Executive Director of Trios Human Development Foundation, the PRO of Kwara State Drug Control Committee, and the State Coordinator of the International Society of Substance Use Professionals, ISAP, who will provide expert insight into this critical issue on drug abuse. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Tolani. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio, and today we're taking a very important topic: drug abuse. You're welcome. You're welcome once again, sir. All right, sir, let us begin by setting the context for this discussion. To set the context, how would you define, how does it differ from the proper medical use of substances?
Yeah, thank you very much. Excellent place to start, actually.
Okay.
Because we're on radio and we don't have plenty time to explain, I'll put the definition very simply. All right. Anything that is different from food,
Okay.
water, fruits, that has the tendency to make you feel different or change your behavior or performance is a drug. So anything that makes you feel different.
That is not food, that
It
is not water,
food,
it is not
it
fruit.
Is not fruit, it's not water, is a drug.
Okay.
In simple perspective, the further you move away from the way God created man in the Garden of Eden, when they were eating things directly, by the time they begin to compound it and mix other things, and it makes you feel different, you are taking a drug. And it's very important for us to be mindful about how we feel each time we take something new.
Okay.
So the moment it's making us to feel differently, then we know that this thing is not good
the
for our
regular.
health. It's irregular good. Now, how it is different from medical drugs or regular drugs, prescription drugs, is that prescription drugs are for taking care of our health, and the doctor or the physician that we consult will tell you how to use it and for how long it should be used. But by the time you go beyond that and you are prescribing it for yourself, or you are using it the way you were not told to use it, or you are using it for longer than you were told to use it, then that is misuse. It is misuse. So these are just the fundamental perspectives of understanding what drugs are and the danger, the early way to identify, when you are using the wrong thing. Now, I always like to quickly say this too.
Okay.
For the most abused drugs are the drugs, anesthetics for maybe headache or body pain. And the causes of, let us say, headache, for example, are so many. If a person has insomnia, is not sleeping well, you feel headache. If a person is tired, maybe he's not been resting well, you feel headache. If malaria is coming, feel headache. If high blood pressure is on its way, headache is one of the symptoms. In fact, if one does not drink enough water, one of the symptoms is headache.
That's dehydration.
Dehydration. If one is hungry, It looks as if every sickness is
Still headache.
all including headache. Good. And the prescription is different. Somebody is hungry, just tell him, have you eaten? No. Before you use drugs, okay, take little eba. He will tell you he doesn't need drugs again. Aha.
Instant healing.
That one is instant too. Then the person who has malaria, of course, is anti-malaria. Don't give the person the drugs. So it's important to diagnose, to be sure what exactly is wrong with the person. And that is why they say if you use the drugs for maybe 3 days and it's still there, consult your doctor. So it's very important for us to be sure what exactly the problem is so that we address it directly and quickly.
All right, thank you, sir. Moving on, from your perspective, how widespread is drug abuse in Nigeria today, particularly among young people, among the youth?
Yeah, my sister, as far as I'm concerned, we are dealing with a pandemic. And I try to explain this, that even COVID-19 that sent the whole world into a panic, not up to 10% of the population was affected. HIV AIDS, as bad as it has been, with all the huge amount of money that government and international bodies spent on it and are still spending, has not ravaged even 5% of the population. But drug abuse, the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime and the World Health Organization, they are telling us that 14.4% of Nigeria youth population are on drugs. Now that is a very serious problem.
Very serious.
Because we are looking at over 14 million Nigerians that are on drugs. And if you look at the implications as we are seeing it, and these are scientific proofs, you go to hospitals and look at the record of people who are hospitalized as a result of drug use. You will see the economic, the social impacts of drug abuse on families, psychological, emotional, on families and on the society. In terms of crime, even the chief security officer of the nation was telling us that these Boko Haram people, each time they are arrested, almost all of them are on drugs. Almost all of them are on drugs. And that is the real driver of insecurity in the country.
Okay. Thank you, sir, on that insightful. So moving on, sir, which substances are most commonly abused and the factors driving their popularity? I think you've talked about paracetamol as the most popular drug being abused.
I didn't mention any brand.
Okay. Okay, I think we talk about headache rather.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
now let's talk about
analgesics.
Okay, analgesics.
Yes,
now let's talk about the most common drugs being abused and the reasons for their popularity.
Yes, cough syrup again, for example, is also seriously abused. Cough syrup. Is it 2 Sundays ago? Yeah, 2 Sundays ago. 2 Saturdays ago rather, the church was doing free medical care, and a lot of the people who came in to complain about one element or the other because they were going to get free drugs. You hear them complaining, chests, cough, they cough in the night, they cough, and by the time I interrogated them, I said, look, you are getting addicted to this cough thing. That's just the simple thing. Because I just asked them, when last did you use this? When did the last one? When did you exhaust the last one? You don't get money to buy it regularly. How often do you think you need it? And by the time they answered these questions, I just tell them, look, you are addicted to cough syrup. So, and they know it, and it's a very serious problem. Already it has been banned. They are not supposed to be sold over the counter. But then we need the media to continue this advocacy. Yes, there are drugs that are still being abused. For example, alcohol. Many people don't even know that alcohol is a substance of abuse and addiction. You see, right now you cannot give a child 100 naira without watching how he spends it. Because he can just turn around the corner and buy pelebe, that thing in nylon that they open. You see, and the entry point for drug use can be as low as 8 years. Because the real problem we are dealing with is availability, accessibility, and affordability. That they are available, that it is accessible, and that it is affordable. So they are not supposed to be made very affordable for children. And the law is there. Don't sell to people below the age of 18. In fact, right now, I doubt whether we are still aware that there used to be an on and off license law that stipulates when bars can open and when they should not be selling. And these laws ought to be reawakened and enforced also. And then, of course, the entry point again, our ladies, the young girls, are are facing very serious, challenging times. In one seminar not too long ago, we were discussing, and in many parts of our high density areas, it takes grace to see a 14-year-old girl that is a virgin. 14, you recharge your torchlight a few times. That is how bad things are. So, and of course, when they start having sex, the next thing is they want to prevent pregnancy. And then what they use, they get used to using it, and addiction can set in. So those are some of the challenges that we really have to deal with. Parenting is a huge challenge, because right now the economic situation is terrible. Parents are hustling, running up and down. They are not there to watch over what their children are doing. So that is a huge problem. And of course, there is also the self-medication, and then there are all sorts of sophisticated drugs now. They make them very attractive. They are like sweets. They are very cheap.
Just packaging, but
Yes.
they are still detrimental.
Terrible things. Not too long ago, right here in Ilorin, for example, NDLA arrested somebody, one of the students at University of Ilorin, that was baking these crown cakes. And in those cakes, they put marijuana and other drugs. So they had special customers that they were selling them to. I was a victim. I went to buy a kuru somewhere, and by the time I ate it, for more than a week, I was drinking water like fish. They had to go and check that place out to get samples and to confirm whether there were special lines that they were selling to special customers. So right now, people have to be very careful what they buy, where they buy, and what they take. It's very dangerous today to go and visit somebody and then the person gives you something to drink. Well, it has been like that since when we were small. But maybe because the social media was not there.
Yes.
We were not
so
well informed
about it.
Because I recall way back in the 70s, boys used to put Valium, I think it's Valium 5, they used to call it that time, inside drink for their girlfriends. Some drink some things, they say they cannot talk to a girl with ordinary eye. So they have to, I don't know what you guys put in your face. So they have to shack before they go. These are issues that we really have to talk to, and that is why a lot of opportunities exist for us to organize maybe one day seminar for adolescents especially. My organization used to have a rehab center, where we thought, okay, we could quickly carry out intervention for people and so. But we discover that the moment you are dealing with people who are 18 years and above, it's
Very difficult.
very difficult task. The average 24, 25-year-old has been on drugs for more than 7 years. So the average 30-year-old has been on drugs for about 15 years. 15 years. It's a terrible thing. And addiction can be very, very difficult to stop. It's a terrible habit. The way I describe it is that it is a one-way road
Okay.
that is very slippery, and there is no U-turn on that road. You can't come back on yourself. You need help.
With capable people.
Capable hands. And as of today, how many capable hands are remaining?
Available.
They have, many of them have jackpot. Doctors, nurses. It's only government that can afford, government hospitals that can afford to pay experts now. And even government hospitals, they are very lean on manpower. So, the only solution is to warn people. If you love yourself, take care and make sure that you abstain. Run away from it.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on a quick break, and when we're back, we dive into the rest of the story. Do stay with us, dear listeners. Society and culture. We bring you sharp insights, highlights, and perspectives to start your day informed and empowered. This is Daily Rundown on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM. Your half-hour guide to the top stories from today's newspapers. Join us weekdays and weekends, 7 to 7:30 a.m. for a news review that is concise, clear, and absolutely essential. Daily Rundown, fast, fresh, and ready to keep you ahead of the
The nation has a story, and every story deserves your voice.
My name is Bukola Omotolani, and I have my guests already seated in the studio.
Godfatherism over the years, I must be very sincere with you, has not been a usual game as it used to be. Look at the history. Right from time immemorial, there have always been one political mentor mentoring a particular mentee. Are the owner of the directive. They are the bigwigs. They know how to get everything in charge.
The wheel of justice grinds slowly.
How is it possible for a NYSC copper coming to this state to be getting more salary than a level 8 and
Comrade,
level 9?
at that point, I want to come in.
At
that point, I want to come in.
How this time around?
No, I'll not allow you to go with it.
No, but the truth about it is that in politics there's no permanent trade or anything.
We have a lot. We are looking at
No,
weekends.
I'm happy.
Well, we are coming home now.
Standpoint. Your take, your voice. The nation has a story, and every society has a heartbeat. And on the pulse, we listen closely. Every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Join us as we take on the issues shaping our communities, the norms we live by, the problems we face, and the societal ills we can no longer ignore. From culture to conversation, from daily challenges to national concerns, we dig deep, ask the questions that matter, and spark the dialogue that leads to real change. Tune into The Pulse, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. only on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM, Nigerian's premium radio experience. The Pulse.
We're about to make it real.
Alright, you're welcome back, and yes, you're still tuned into Emirate Radio 98.5 FM on the program The Pulse. And today we're taking this topic on drug abuse with my guest, Pastor Ade Bodude, and we've walked into the insight on the basics we need to know about drug abuse. Alright, sir, let's consider the implications of drug abuse. Let's talk about the immediate and long-term health complications associated with drug abuse.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. First of all, I'd like to quickly say this. We have a program, we call it Youth O'Clock. It's a nationwide program by ISOP, International Society for Substance Use Prevention Professionals. You see, it is the responsibility of parents and community to join hands together to ensure that the growth of children is well noticed and monitored, that these children are informed and protected. All right? Because the consequence affects everybody eventually.
Exactly.
Good. That background is very important for us to capture the perspective properly. So it's not just the problem of the parents. No. A time comes when people on the road say, ẹ jẹ́ ká pe wèrè ní ọkọ ìyàwó, kó jẹ́ ká kọjá. Because you have to pass on the same road. And the guy is behaving like a crazy person, driving like a madman. And you say, let me just drive, let me manage beside so that he will pass, into I will pass. A time will come when he will occupy the whole road and become a monster.
So everybody will be partaker of the evil act.
Everybody will be victim. And a time comes, like we are experiencing now, they find it very difficult to feed their addiction. So they go into kidnapping.
And theft.
Nobody is safe. Initially, it is theft they used to engage in. They can steal a car, brand new car, worth how many millions. Thief know they shot. They can sell it for 50,000 just to buy drugs. And he's on the move. And now they've gone so sophisticated with it, with kidnapping. They've even formed gangs. They've become easy recruits into banditry and terrorism. And we are all living with the consequences today. And now, many of them have even gone into selling drugs themselves. They've gone so dynamic, armed, they have armed gangs, to protect their space. They've diversified into illegal mining, creating ungovernable spaces, and even setting panic to government itself. So this is the large-scale consequence. But at home, we are dealing with people who cannot add to the economy of the home. Instead, they are creating problems in the home, destroying things, falling sick, having accidents, domestic accidents, workplace accidents, and you have to carry them to hospital every now and again, spending the meager money that the family is supposed to use for other things. Their children are dropping out of school because they are not able to take care, to meet the
standards and
the care that these children need. Their children are also, becoming social problems in the society. So these problems are very real, and unfortunately, the government is not making adequate provision for it. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. Government is not making. In fact, there is no insurance policy for drug addiction. They say they are reaping the reward of the consequence of their lifestyle. And they are enjoying themselves now. So this is the reward of their choice of their lifestyle. So they cannot bring that burden on the insurance company. But then, if you look at the impact on the society should join hands to do something.
To curb it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, even religious organizations cannot do nearly enough. They can't. You see, because those that bring money into the church or mosque, there are other responsible people that have challenges, widows, orphans, that need to be catered for. So to be bringing people who have gone mentally half off the road, it's also it's a separate challenge on its own.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now let's look at the legal and institutional response. The availability and accessibility of rehabilitation and support systems for individuals or people struggling with addiction?
Yeah, thank you. One of the problems we have, particularly in Nigeria, is that people don't access counseling. You hardly see people, just decide, let me go for counseling, or let me go and see where I can get help on this matter. Very, very few. In all my years, which is over 10 years, over 15 years actually, in this space, maybe I've seen 3 or 4 that came on their own to say, Daddy, I have a problem. And we thank God for those ones because we were able to help them out, considerably. Now, there are several professionals, but still we don't have nearly enough. We need more volunteers that we will train. All right, we need more volunteers that we can train, to at least at their own level. There are people who we call first contact counselors. This can be even secondary school students. We are ready to train them so that anybody that they see, because they understand their appearance, they understand each other's language, all right, they can speak truth to each other, all right. So we are ready to train even such categories of people. We are happy to train people like you, all right, because in your place of worship, in your community, people can identify you and say, let us talk to Auntie Lagbadia. I will report you to Auntie Lagbadia. You get? And because you are a role model in your area, they will be ready to listen to you. And then you will also be able to refer them for more professional support, early. When it comes to the case of addiction management, okay, let me talk about the steps first. There are those who try it out of curiosity. All right, at that stage, it is still possible to help them.
Okay.
There are those who use it occasionally, maybe socially, and so on. Those ones, they can still be, curbed. If they are young people, parents can still beat them. You can still threaten them, and all of that, before you now get to the level of dependence. When people now depend on it, they can't carry out certain tasks without using it.
Yeah.
Somebody came to do some work somewhere, and the person was literally slumping, from time to time because he was high. So performance was out, and then you talk of addiction, which is not a problem that comes with complications. Yes. So and professional care. The best place, the teaching hospital, and the Ogapata of them is the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital here at Budu Egba. And let me tell you, rehab costs as much as 1.2, 1.5 million for just 90 days. Let everybody here, for just 90 days, that person is not on dialysis. So, and that 90 days, there is no assurance that the person will be fully recovered. They may have to repeat that cycle 3 times or 4 times. So parents that know that they don't have that money under their pillow, they better open their eyes wide.
And you open the eyes of the children as well.
And the eyes of the children. Very well.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And today we draw the curtain on today's edition of The Pulse. It is evident that drug abuse is a multifaceted issue that requires collective action from both you and I. Addressing it effectively demands awareness, preventive education, strong policy enforcement, and accessible rehabilitation services. All right, so we say thank you very much for giving us insight into drug abuse generally, and we hope you join us again next time when we call. And to all our crew members on and inside, in and outside the studio, we say thank you very much for making The Pulse a reality today. And yes, to our listeners, we say thank you for listening, and see you next Tuesday from 1 o'clock to 1 p.m. on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM. Good afternoon.
wadada Urobo, wadada Edo, wadada Kano,
Make we live.